G'day everyone, it's Jumbuck at work, and we are back in Elysium. Last time we were here, I tried to conquer the entire island as a roided up mama's boy, leading an army of fat lads until we got our very soul obliterated by a school of creepy fishmen. And I gotta be honest, that experience was quite humbling. So, I am now announcing my conversion to the Church of the Filet Fish. Praise be the great old one, and remember to prepare your sacrifices as we ready for a new invasion. We start on the southern coast in our little corner of the map. Surrounded by neighbouring villages, we quickly clear out the pests that were already there and use them to fund our economy and build up a nice healthy stockpile of sacrifices for when we start having fun. With only a single tile separating us from the rest of the continent, we are fairly well defended, so I take our leader Water out for a swim to check the coastline for more villages. We find one, but it seems the seas aren't exactly clear, so we'll use some of our sacrifices for a ritual, Call of the Deep. This pulls in advanced life forms from the ocean and under our control. We even find more independent settlements and politely convince them to join our cause. While this is going on, our human army is keeping the home base clear from any potential risks. We then jump back into the water to grab more guys, and we end up finding a new commander. A gross half-fish, half-man abomination whose hobbies include drinking glue and human sacrifices. I'm sure he'll fit right in, so we'll set him off with the others of his kin and they'll go kill some other fish people. We then receive some unfortunate news. The pale ones are swimming to our location. With how short we've been playing, it means they've probably been holed up pretty nearby, and that thought alone disgusts me. We're gonna have to clear them from both the sea and earth. So, we amass our defensive army, wait for them to come ashore, and they land in a small village, slaughtering our hybrid fishermen who just call the town home. We retaliate with an execution by firing squad, shooting down their forces. However, while the smaller body politely dies without much fuss, their leader keeps swinging and takes a few of our men out with him. Still, with this win under our belts, it's unlikely they'll have much follow-up. Looking back at our exploration team, there is a new mission: Search and Destroy. We leave our hybrid cultists with some deep ones in the village to keep that bundle of economic resources secure, and we instead go on an offensive. I call more deep ones and even get another hybrid who I used to call for even more soldiers, but he fails and we get jumped by our own backup. Still, I'm able to make the most of it, mind controlling two of them as we kill the third, so it's practically the same thing, just with extra steps. Oh, and look at that, some sea dogs by our second set of villagers. So we'll send the little army, and fuck, I forgot to send the old ones to follow him. Still, I'm sure he'll be alright. Nope. Oh well. Still, we find that there's a long landmass coming down here, and more pale ones are coming in from the north, so we can take a good guess at where they're hiding. We take a dip into some deeper waters and call upon a ceremony of the deep, and damn that's good. Damn that's bad. Still, we're able to clear out the dissenters without any losses, and then start calling more into our fold. Oh baby, now we're ready. We'll rush our defensive armies back to base as our exploration team gets back to land, and with so much gold coming in, we may as well start buying iron now so we can upgrade our soldiers. Still, the invading pale ones beat up our fishermen again, as well as the mentally ill, so we'll cripple their economy. They fear both of our armies, so they're just sorta stuck pissing themselves in the middle of this cove. We swim through the warm water and obliterate most of them, except this one that we take as a pet. Oh look, it's a commander. It thinks it's important. But it doesn't do anything fun, so it's not that special. Still, now we can make a clean break to the northwest corner of the continent, where we find a massive hole leading to the underground. However, above ground, we also find a pair of ogres making their way through the forest from the Troll King, and that could be a problem. Still, since it's only two of them, we'll jump there with our human army, and our other group can add more backup from the ocean before heading underground. Now, killing these ogres should be a simple task, but it turns out they had a couple of mates for the ride. Now, these goblins blended into the forest until our wall of arrows and spears left their bodies blended into the forest. Still, the Troll King is a major risk, so we'll head underground and wrap up our war with the pale ones before fully opening another war front. We jump down, besiege them, and it went perfectly. We immediately take control of the ancient pale one, who remembers to like and subscribe the video, as they start attacking their own front lines and we break down the barricade. Their slingers barely even bother aiming for us, as we turn more defenders to our side just for them to get pelted and stabbed until the barricade is gone. And now the Ancient Pale One is blocking us from getting any further in, but once he's dead, we're able to flood in and rush them down, conquering their only citadel. Now the only surviving members of the Pale Ones are the ones under our control. With this we should be able to recruit more soldiers, but it turns out I'm a lion, there's nothing for me to recruit. In that case there's not much value holding it, so we'll just leave it undefended, free for anyone to take, assuming anyone would even want it. Back on the surface, we take a nearby mine and split our exploration team. The main group, led by a hybrid cultist, heads towards the last Troll King sighting, as Water heads back to the deep water to call forth another army. We also get some news. A merchant is visiting, and it turns out he doesn't particularly like our locals as he violently attacks them on sight. So we'll respond in the same manner. We hire a new commander and lead the recruits from the city to kill his entire caravan and return home to act as our new main defensive force. We also looked at the sky, and it turns out it might be a bad day to try summoning, but I, however, don't care and successfully pull it off repeatedly, showing that astrology can eat shit and any failures are just a skill issue. This army will now be referred to as the Deep Sea Diverticulitis. And oh shit, another death. An illusionist ran out of commanders and nothing of value was lost. So we'll bring our 3 offensive armies together and sack Orman, this little neutral village in the middle of the map. They immediately open the gates and try rushing us as they fire rocks at our face from their catapult. Luckily we have our own rocks, and with 4 separate cultists, we obliterate their entire force, except for a crossbowman who really sees the value in not dying. With our new town ready, we'll build up a strong defensive force by calling upon the Elder Beings. These include purple trees, whatever the hell that is, freaky houseplants, the average PETA rescue animal, and even some slimes. So as they fortify Orman, we'll start searching for the Troll King. We can see their villages, the woodland they get mushrooms from, but they keep trying to kick us out. Unfortunately for them, it's just a small force that quickly falls to the combined might of our men and the Deep Sea Diverticulitis unit. As they get torn to shreds, we get ourselves another pet. Now we just had their other army that snuck through, and another merchant that we're gonna have to cut down nice and quickly. Speaking of quick, the Troll King's goblin-led army keeps running away until they suffer what I can only describe as either a severe brain aneurysm or a death wish, as they stop right next to a heavily defended town of monstrosities who swiftly annihilate them. And we learn that the Troll King was already dead. That was their final force. Good for us. What's the other death stack doing? At this point, all we need to do is deal with this lot, the Weeaboos, though they prefer to be called the Bakemono. Like us, they use human sacrifices, but instead of offering them to the Great Old Ones like a proper civilization, they instead summon Oni and other yokai. We introduce ourselves in their native tongue, Watashi wa Baka desu. Then we swarm their army, killing everyone and leaving no survivors. A plan so good, we do it twice. A plan so good, we do it thrice. And I don't think they're going to be able to do much else. 3 of their armies had absolutely nothing to stop us, and we have an unstoppable death stack. All we really need to do is just finish the job and the island is ours. We'll either need to kill all their commanders or take the remaining bases, so we better get started. We keep killing them army after army as they appear, but they're all over the place. In the north, south, on the coast, even traveling in the sea, so we're gonna have to start picking off the commanders at every corner. We even find their original spawn and crush them, but they're still held out somewhere else. We also find that there's a kraken attacking our towns, and it turns out one of my commanders got his hands on a bowl of shit that just reeks so bad it kills people around him. Probably got that from a merchant. I wonder if that means he could take the kraken on his own. Nope. Well, rip. And now the kraken has a bowl of shit, but I think we can just ignore it. Just like how we can ignore this beholder who's made his home in a gold mine. I do not want to bother him, and I'm just gonna keep searching for the Bakemono. Luckily, spreading our armies all over the place really helps hunt them down, and we can even make another push. A horde of men and monstrosities and the Rain and Pale One are more than enough to kill everyone here. Our headless beast from beyond tears through the front lines as our slime climbs the castle walls and strikes down the archers as they are quickly overrun. Now only a few commanders remain. One hides in a small village as death rains down from above. One hides in the open seas as our men just kinda walks themselves into range and get shredded until we remember we also have ranged weapons. And the final battle. It is not an epic siege, but a random meeting in the plains. Their army of the weakest units they could produce against our hodgepodge of previous foes, regular soldiers, and ancient space gods with lasers. This is what we're all about. And so, just to rub salt in the wound, their army only has one survivor, the general who turned to our side. You made a good choice, lad. All hail the Great Old One.